Hello, my name is Lee Cummings, and I'm the founder and the overseer of Radiant Network, a family of churches. And I want to introduce ourselves to you today because I really believe with all of my heart that doing ministry alone is the worst way that we can do ministry. We all need to be a part of a family. We need people that we're running with, especially in the age in which we're living in. And that's what the Radiant Network is all about. Years ago, when we started the Radiant Network, it was because we have given birth to churches and planted different ministries and leaders in different cities who carried our same DNA, and we wanted to be there to not control, but yet to encourage, strengthen, and provide resources and relationships for them so that they could thrive in the context in which God has planted them. And since that time, we've had multiple churches, dozens of churches all over the United States that have said, hey, we want to be a part of something, a family, a tribe that we can connect to that's going to encourage and strengthen us as we do what God has called us to do in our unique and particular context. And that might be what you're experiencing today. Your church is probably a thriving, spirit-empowered church. How can Radiant Network be a part, and why is it important for us to be a part of a family of churches? It's because we were not created to do life or ministry alone. That's why we created the Radiant Network of Churches. And what's unique about this family of churches is our 5 values. Number 1 is this idea of presence, that we are churches that are built around the presence of God. We also believe in having robust theology, strong, biblical, historic theology and doctrine that has stood the test of time and becomes like a rock foundation for us that keeps us and keeps our moorings from being shifted off kilter. We believe in relationship, that the governing values of the kingdom of God is relationship, that it's not hierarchical or even denominational structures per se, but the kingdom of God is built on relationships, brothers and sisters, spiritual fathers and mothers, and running together as a family, loving and honoring one another, both within local churches and then as a family of churches beyond that. Another one of our values is about culture, engaging culture. We believe it's really important for us to be effective in the places where God has placed us, to bring the gospel and to announce the kingdom, that we have to understand culture and how to engage it and speak the gospel message in a way that is understandable in the context. And then lastly, building praying churches. This is one of our mandates as a network, is we're not just building churches that pray, but actually praying churches. That we go back to that place of prayer, building the altar, corporate intercession. We believe that if there's going to be revival and an awakening in this generation, it's going to be because the people of God and churches rise up who understand what prayer is and how important it is. So these values are what sets us apart as unique as a family of churches. So you may be asking, what does the Radiant Network do to help strengthen our church? Well, that's a great question. Number 1, we provide covering and leadership so that churches and leaders just aren't out there on their own, but we're able to come up alongside pastors, elders, local churches, and provide what the Bible refers to as kind of apostolic covering and leadership over local churches. And beyond that, to help provide relationships. Your pastor needs other pastors and friends that can strengthen them. And that's true not only of your senior pastor, but even the people that help lead worship and youth and kids. In essence, Radiant Network is a family of churches that is going to help you, your local church, and your pastor flourish in this day and the calling that God has upon you and your fellowship.